For more, let's bring in our Foreign Affairs editor, Philip Turle, who's with me here on set. Now, Philip, first of all, is Macron's grand plan here to somehow single-handedly negotiate some kind of deal to stop this much-feared invasion of Ukraine?
I think that is the ultimate aim of the French president. Whether or not he manages to actually secure that deal remains to be seen, but I think he's determined to do as much as he possibly can. Remember, earlier this week, he spent an hour on the phone with the US President Joe Biden. That was on Wednesday, talking about how the United States and Europe could organise possible sanctions against Russia if it were to invade Ukraine. Then he's been on the phone this week to President Putin and also to Vladimir Zelensky. Now we've heard today he's going to travel to meet both of those leaders. I think there's a double aim here by Vladimir Putin. The first one is when he goes to see President Putin to say, look, it's better to find a diplomatic way out of this through negotiations rather than actually invading Ukraine, because if you do, we're going to slap sanctions on you and it will be very bad for Russia. And he knows that President Putin will only listen to force and to strength and will not just give in to offers of negotiation. So the stronger that force can be from the West, with troops being flown in and France also bringing extra soldiers into Romania, the more I think Emmanuel Macron thinks that President Putin is going to listen to him. And the second objective is to go to see Volodymyr Zelensky in Ukraine, to let him know that he has the full support of NATO and of the West, the European Union and the United States, so that if there is an incursion by Russia into Ukraine, then the West is ready to bring its aid to Ukraine to try to offset the effects of that invasion. So that, I think, is the plan of Emmanuel Macron. But the bottom line here, Thomas, is that Emmanuel Macron thinks that anything is better than an invasion. So if there's any possibility that he can try to organise some kind of diplomatic negotiated solution to this, then he will do that. And Ukraine has said this week it thinks that all this diplomatic effort is paying its fruit, if you like, bringing benefits. And therefore, the more it's stepped up, the more President Putin will listen and the less likely he is to launch an invasion.
Just briefly, Philip, where do international and domestic politics stand in this announcement from the Elysée, given that we are, of course, just weeks away from a presidential election here in France?
Okay, 2 points rapidly. The first one is that the French love to see their president on the world stage. Emmanuel Macron sees himself as the leader of Europe now that Angela Merkel is no longer by his side. That is important for him. France is currently the president of the rotating EU Council. And second point, France is going to presidential elections in April. And this is good for President Macron's eventual candidacy to show himself as a world leader on the world stage, able to deal with world problems, putting him in a very good position for his eventual candidacy and a second term in office.
Okay, Philip Turle, thank you very much.